What's going on, guys? So in today's video we're going to be doing a little mod on the F80. We're going to be changing out the steering wheel from the current, I think it's a full Alcantara Royal steering wheel, and now we've got one of these, which is a flat bottom carbon fiber and leather steering wheel. As you can see here, the quality is actually pretty nice. I went with the red 12 o'clock stripe, which is underneath the carbon lacquer, so hopefully that won't fade. And then on the sides I went with the M stitching, so the M tri-stitching with the perforated leather. Currently I've got the Alcantara one, so I thought instead of getting Alcantara here, why not just try something a bit different and get the perforated leather. And then in addition to that, I also got a new center steering trim. So this one's a proper carbon fiber one with the M Performance logo there. Currently I've got a little stick-on one from AliExpress, and after seeing this you can tell the difference in like the carbon weave. It's not there, but in terms of price, I think this was close to 100, whereas that one was like £20 from AliExpress. So yeah, I'll show you guys the two so you can compare it. Should be quite nice. I'm excited to get it installed. What we're going to have to do is take off the current wheel and transfer over the gear paddles, the wiring, the airbag and everything. And then obviously this will go on top. And once it's all in, I think it should look really nice inside. Pretty good. So yeah, without further ado, let's go to the car and do a little DIY. Alright, so this is the stock steering wheel. As you can see, the Alcantara is pretty much finished. It's like sandpaper everywhere. Alright, so before you start disconnecting the steering wheel, airbag and all that, you want to disconnect the battery from the car. So just grab a socket set and just disconnect the battery. And also put some cover, or have to put a pair of gloves under the latch just so the boot doesn't lock itself. Okay, so to take the steering wheel off, there is a hole there and a hole there. If you just grab something and push it in there, that's not going to fit. Grab like a flathead or something and you want to push it in there. There'll be a little tab and then this will come off. So one there and one there. Okay, once this is off, just remove it from here, like that. Alright, so once the airbag's off, you've got a bolt here. That I think is a 16mm. And literally just undo it, and the whole wheel should come right off. Alright, so if you can, it's probably best to get someone to help you with this, just so you got a second person. What you want to do is make sure you hold the wheel really tight. I probably wasn't holding it tight enough, so the spanner kind of just like spun off. But yeah, it's not held in too tight. I think it's 63 Newton meters, but we'll get to that when we put the wheel back on afterwards. Alright, so the other cable I forgot to take out was this one right here. Take that out, and once it bolts out, the whole wheel will just come off, and then you can transfer everything inside. So once that cable's out and the bolt's out, the whole wheel should just come off. Alright, so here's the two wheels side by side. What we're going to do now is disconnect the buttons and paddles and harness from the old one and move it over to the new one. So I'm just going to time lapse this. Alright, cool. So at this point, I've pretty much finished transferring everything over to the new wheel, just doing the final bits of trim. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Whatever you take off the old wheel, it will go on exactly the same on the new one. If you do get the one with the little race LED thing on the top, there's an additional 1 or 2 wires, I think. Not too sure how to do that because I've never done that before. But yeah, straightforward, and at this point we're pretty much ready to put it straight back into the car. Alright, so one thing to note, the wheel will only go on one way, And as you can see, at about the 6 o'clock marker, there's a little line or notch. You just want to line that up with the bottom of the wheel. Alright, so I've finger tightened the bolt in over there. Seems solid. And then you need a torque wrench to 62 Newton meters with the 60 in mm on the other side. And then literally just tighten it up. Hold it with your leg or hand. Alright, as soon as you hear that click, you are good. Alright, so once the bolt's in, first thing you want to do is connect that cable back in there. And then just make sure the screw holes here are clear. In future, when you need to open it, you see there, the screwdriver needs to reach in there. And then grab the airbag, and this goes into that slot there, and then these two little grooves clip in there, and you're good to go. Alright, so at this stage you're pretty much done. Once you've got the airbag in, don't forget to connect up the battery again, and yeah, you're pretty much good. You might get a few errors come up on the dash after you've turned the car back on, so just take it out for a drive, spin the wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right, and it should clear out any error codes or anything like that. But yeah, that's been it for the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like rating, subscribe for more content, and drop me a follow on Instagram, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.